So we just finished trimming the horse, put him down, have a look at him. And what we can see here is once he stands square, he's slightly broken back past an angle. So what we're going to want to do is we want to put on a small wedge pad just to improve his posture a little. So in combination with the Mustad wedge pad, I'm going to use a Delta Challenger TS8 #1 front shoe. People want a little bit more traction on the horse, so what we're going to do is we're going to fuller the heels and fuller across the toe. That'll make the whole shoe have a little bit more traction on the surface. So we'll need a pair of tongs and a hammer, like normal, to hot shape the shoe, and then we'll need a fuller or a creaser to be able to add the traction. Once we've done that, we're going to roll the outside edge of the shoe. We're going to roll it from second nail hole around the second nail hole. This will give a bit of ease of breakover. Basically, whenever you use a wedge pad or a wedge shoe, it should have some sort of breakover device on it every time. What I've done, I've set a pair of dividers, the inner web of the shoe. I scribe a line around the toe, the same distance from the inside edge of the full ring to the inside edge of the shoe. I follow that line. So when I'm using the fuller, I'm looking at the distance from the inside of the full ring to the inside edge of the shoe, and I'm walking the fuller. Every time it hits flat, I hit it. So it's walking the fuller, and that's what will make a really nice, smooth fullering. Now we go from the heel to the fullering. From the fullering to the heel. A little bit of a lubricant. And walk it. Each time it hits flat, hit the fuller. What I'm doing is I'm watching the distance from the inner edge of the fuller to the inner edge of the shoe and keeping that parallel. A little bit more on this side. Just level it a little bit. Now from the second nail hole, around the toe, right to second nail hole, we're just rolling the edge. By doing that, it just saves some of the grinding. Reduce it down to about half thickness. Now, next important information to have is the width of the foot. Measure just a little bit wider on this one because it's going to have a pad. So I just put a little bit of shoe around the foot so I can blend the pad in. So we're just there 5 1/8. Overlapping blows with the fitting. Flatten the shoe. Just look to see if the toes to the right shape. Toes to the right shape. Look down it. See the fit. See the heels are in the right place. And we've got a nice even burn. We're done. I'm going to linish up the toe to make the roll toe blend in. And I'm just going to clean up the heels a little bit. It's not necessary to do any boxing on the hoof side because we're going to be putting a pad on it. And so we'll end up boxing the pad, not the shoe. Start blending my roll toe in from the second nail hole, right around the toe, second nail hole. Just going to clean up my heels. No sharp edges. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill holes at the heels so that the copper rivets can hold the pad in place. Once I've riveted the shoe to the pad, then I'll trim the pad to fit. I'll leave the pad just a little bit full, so once I've nailed it on, I can box the pad back to the foot. Take my time when I'm drilling so I don't waste my drill bits. Take my time drilling. Go right through the pad. Take the shoe off carefully. We need to cut the nails to length. I'll normally leave them about 1/8 of an inch up. And now we'll rivet them on the anvil. I'm going to take the round of my hammer and rivet the copper nail, just tapping it evenly so it spreads and mushrooms out. Once we've got the pad fixed in place, now we can trim the pad to fit the shoe. Once we got the pad cut to shape, I'll just clean it up with a grinder. I'm just taking the burrs off it. I'll finish it once I've got it nailed on. I'll put a little bit of a scoop between the heels. If they catch a pad, that's where they catch them, right between the heels. With a nice radius on the belt. So I've created a bit of a radius in the heel of the shoe. I like to drill out my nail holes. That means the nails will drive a little bit easier and they don't tend to drive out too soon. Now I need to choose a nail that has a head that will fit well into the shoe, but I want a thin shank so it'll cause little wall displacement in this fine foot. What I'm going to choose is a Capewell 5 slim blade. Now that I'm using a pad, I want to put some hoof packing under, and we're in an environment that's pretty dry right here. So I'm using a hoof packing so it'll give some moisture to the foot. Put the shoe into position. We want to be careful that the shoe doesn't nail back as we're nailing. So I tend to drive the heel nail first because it doesn't push the shoe back. If I drive the toenail first, it tends to push them back. I like to drive the heel nail about 1/3 of the way up the hoof wall. Bring the nails off. Check the shoe's still in position. Now as we drive the nails, the nails can either stay the same height as the heel nail or they can get a little higher as they get to the toe, right? Don't hit it too hard, just enough to turn the nails over. And then pull the nail over and pull up. Pull the nail into the hoof wall. Finish the hoof wall. Nice and smooth. Don't rasp off the clinches too much. And just dress it off. Polish the nails off, not too much because we want the clinches strong, and then just dress the heel of the pad to be boxed off. This is something we may be asked to do out of our truck every day. We've added traction to a Delta Challenger machine-made shoe, so we fullered it, the toe and the heels. We've added a wedge pad, we've riveted the heels, and we've rolled the toe. This would also be a good shoe modification for AFA certification.